is the 103rd episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the 4th week of August, 2012. This episode is titled Glacier Time. CloudFocus Week is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me is the co-host on the other side of the snowball for the 103rd time, Justin Edelstein. Justin, how are you doing?
On the other side of my own snowball.
Yes, we are dual snowball now.
I like this one. This is the original.
That is the
I'm
original.
on V1.
Yep, I'm on the new one. I'm on the silver. You're on the black.
Yeah. You could call yours platinum if you want.
I could. Whatever. Speaking of platinum, we have a platinum agenda today. We have the weekly blog post, this time a lot about Dreamforce and sort of our participation, all the things we're doing at Dreamforce. So a little bit about that. Amazon gets Glacier. We'll talk about that. Salesforce trademarking social enterprise, question mark? Yeah. And then an article about my month with the Chromebox. We've actually reviewed the old Chromebook on the blog.
We have.
Yes, we have.
That was when it first came out.
Right. And we talk about it every time it comes out like we want to get one. We haven't. So someone else reviewed the Chromebook and said they have spent a Chromebox and spent a month with it. We've read the article and we're going to comment on their comments. Because that's what we do.
That's what podcasters do.
We're very meta. And then have a little feedback at the end. We're going to give a little feedback. And then we'll do a CloudFocus app pick of the week. Alrighty? Ready to kick in there?
You know what we should do, though, before we kick into the blog post?
Sure.
We should say, because we go negative.
We neg.
We neg on Radiant 6 often. I feel like this is worth mentioning before we get into the agenda. I know I didn't pop it into the agenda. We finally got through to Radiant 6, thanks to those who listen to this podcast.
I was about to say that the secret is, of course, I was tweeting it yesterday, so it's not much of a secret.
Not much of a secret, but we finally got through. We got the ability to log in, use our own instance of Radiant 6. We got a tour. We got a trial account. We got a tour and a little training the other day. And I'm coming around. I'm seeing the power.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, the reason I didn't put it on the podcast was I kind of want to make sure that they were okay with us talking about it. It was kind of a favor to give us the review or give us the trial. Again, we've kind of, as people know, we've been not negative, but like, hey, Salesforce has this great partner program. Radiant 6 is part of Salesforce. But it doesn't feel like it because their partner program is non-existent.
Well, it's also one of the biggest things that they've been talking about, as we'll get to in this, trying to trademark social enterprise for the last year or so.
Right.
And not having, top partners be able to play with the thing is sort of antithetical to the social that is being spouted.
So how about this? We'll throw out a big thank you to Radiant 6.
Thank you. I think it's worth throwing a thank you out there and just saying, look, we've gone negative. We're
going positive.
We're going to go positive on this one.
And not only do we get to play with it, we've had multiple chances, and we had training with a great trainer, and so we sort of got learned stuff that you can't just figure out by poking around. A long way to go, but I think we should bring that into like a whole nother thing.
I'd like to have a longer conversation with you about that on the air. Let's do it next week.
How about this? Oh, next week's gonna be tough, but if you out there as a listener would like to hear us talk more about Radiant 6, how about you let us know?
That was social.
That was the social.
All right, let's dig into the agenda.
All right, so this week was your blog
my
post.
blog.
Yes, your blog post about, it was called Arkus at Dreamforce 12. What was it about? Because I can't tell from the title.
I wanted to just give everybody a little glimpse into the world that is preparing for Dreamforce when you're a sponsor and a company who's going there as a partner of Salesforce and not just as a client. Because I imagine most of our listeners are clients of Salesforce. If you're a Salesforce client, I would imagine most of our listeners are.
Probably some partners too.
And some partners, certainly, but most
fanboys.
Some fanboys. But most are probably clients and go to Dreamforce as clients and customers of Salesforce.
Right.
And it's very different to go as a partner who is sponsoring and doing events and staffing booths and hobnobbing and handshaking and this and that and the other. So I want to give people a glimpse into what we're actually doing and where you can find us at Dreamforce.
Yeah. So obviously it's at blog.argusinc.com. It's the first blog post right now. I just wanted to throw in a little, because I was actually explaining this to someone the other day, and I said something about what we did last year, and they laughed, they guffawed at it so much. I thought I'd explain. You didn't put it in your blog post.
What?
I was going to say, so last year, so you talk about this year and what we were doing for this year.
Right.
And, we're running a contest. We're doing all this neat stuff. But last year, I was saying, in preparation for Dreamforce, when we were staffing the booth, we decided that for the booth, we were going to go like these polo shirts. Now I'm wearing polo shirts now with another logo on it, not ours, but we are constantly wearing these from last year. Anyway, we decided to get 4 different colors. And so for the booth. But there were 4 of us staffing the booth, or 3 to 4 different covers, 4 different days, 3 of us staffing. So we literally built a spreadsheet, which maybe I should post.
It was
somewhere.
a Google sheet.
It was a Google sheet that literally listed the colors and the days for the individual people,
so that we wouldn't double up.
So no one would show up in the same color.
Right.
So that type of stuff, like I know it seems silly, but that's the type of stuff that you start to think about. And this year, I think we're doing those same polos, different colors, because some of them I like better than the others. I noticed like
agree.
There's ones that I pull out of my closet, there's the ones that I avoid.
Actually, I had to get rid of a few.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so then we're going to get a new set of colors, and then I think we're actually going to do. You didn't mention again, just sort of adding to the blog post because people can go read it. We're going to do a T-shirt.
Right.
Which I just saw the designs for today.
We always do a T-shirt, but this is a different T-shirt.
Right. We usually do the Safe Harbor T-shirt.
Right.
Which we've loved in the past, and you know what? At this point, it's like, we did it, and maybe we'll bring it back.
If you loved the Safe Harbor T-shirt, you probably already have one.
Right. You probably already have one, and you might have 2, because I have like 6. But, so this year we're doing one based on our product, the product that shall not be renamed. Get that? That was funny.
I get it.
Yeah.
They don't, but
well, they'll
do.
get it soon. Anyway, so we just saw it. So there's going to be T-shirts available at our booth as well. I think the big thing we want to say is booth 334. Write it down.
Yeah, I didn't put too much of like what we're actually doing at our booth. I think I even said I'll leave it as a tease that there's definitely more than just us being there.
Right. Right. It's actually it's gonna be hard to find you and I there because we have so many. You're speaking in 2 sessions, I'm speaking in 1 session, so we're going to be
right.
We have to go to other sessions because our clients are speaking at them, so
we go to support each other,
right?
I'll be at
but
yours.
we're going to be cross. One of the things we're going to do is in the booth we're going to leave where we are. We're going to kind of give our little so to come by to know, I want to talk to Jason, or I want to see Justin. Probably not see Justin, but whatever. They want to see Jason. So I'll be saying I'll be here or here, so I'll try to leave a little breadcrumbs, if you will.
Yeah,
of where we are.
Little teasers.
Right. And what sessions we're at.
And the sessions, just so everyone, if they want to know, they're linked. They're in the blog post.
Yeah,
so go check them out.
Sessions,
all our sessions are linked to the session link inside of the Dreamforce portal, which we can talk about now or we can talk about later.
I mean, we're there, so let's just talk about it.
So the agenda builder in the Dreamforce portal.
So can I just explain it before you talk about it?
I was gonna
explain what it is and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the agenda builder, as they've tried to do in the past and have continued to do this year, is a way to find sessions, breakout sessions.
Yeah, that's not what I was going to say.
Well,
I was going to say it's built on the Touch platform.
Oh, well, that's not where I was going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you haven't seen this thing, if you go in and look at it from a UI perspective, it doesn't look like Salesforce. It looks like Touch. If you haven't seen Touch, it looks like Touch. It's got kind of moving navigation. There's big buttons. It's very high font, and it's built in a vertical way, not a horizontal way or horizontal, whatever. It's built in a way that you're like, this doesn't look like Salesforce. Unlike any other...
No, it bounces you out from the chatter...
From what Salesforce looks like.
From, like the chatter org that it is to a different look and feel, which is the same look and feel as when you registered. It's that same registration look and feel.
Which I didn't like when I registered, but never mind.
Well, never mind. What I was going to do is explain what it is for those who don't know. It's the place where you go to find all your sessions, breakout sessions, keynotes, etc., and sign up for them because they don't want to overbook certain sessions, and making sure that they put them in the right rooms. They don't let you sign up for 2 sessions at the same time.
Yep.
You're actually reserving yourself a seat at a session. It's important to go in because there are sessions that are quote unquote sold out.
Right.
They're full.
You cannot get into.
You can't get in.
You can't even at this point. You can't. And this is start of the gripe list. You can't take that session and say, "Fine, it's full, but put it on my agenda so I can so I know that I want to go to it."
Yeah.
So at the very least, you can't even say that I want to go to that. That's my first.
The agenda builder has evolved over the last couple of years. It
devolved.
Yeah, they used to let you register for like 4 sessions at one time and throw it on your calendar, and then you'd have your calendar, and then at that time you'd decide. But then that overran certain sessions because the popular ones got, eaten alive, basically, where people had standing room and then they couldn't even go. I just find that the search mechanism for actually finding the sessions that you want, there's no search.
There is no search.
There's no type in a keyword, hit go, find.
You cannot find things by person.
No, I was trying to do that because I was just using Command F on my browser. I was Command F-ing and looking for keywords like
this
compliance.
Is not an explicit podcast. I'm just saying. Command F.
Yeah. I was doing the find function on my browser and looking for keywords like compliance.
Right.
And I find the session I was looking for, or like social advisor, and I found that one. But I just wanted to type in the name of one of our clients to find his session.
Right.
Because I couldn't remember the name of it, and I couldn't do it. I had to try and go through all these filter lists, and filters are fine. But search, there's a reason Google isn't a filter list.
Well, it's the reason why Yahoo doesn't exist anymore.
There's Google, it's a search box, and you find stuff. It's not like, let's just put a bunch of tiles out on Google, and you just click things, and maybe you'll find it.
Right, what do you want? I want it for videos.
You're filtering down the web.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work.
What I don't understand, and this is why it's devolved, because
this is why I went positive in the beginning, so we can neg them now.
Yeah, now we're going to neg them. First of all, Salesforce has a built-in search functionality and a built-in filtering functionality. They exist inside of Salesforce for free.
Right.
Why build an entirely new UI system, a way of looking and grabbing sessions and all that if you already have one? They used to do views, and I think you could even build your own views if you wanted, and then you could find sessions by typing in keywords like JSON or branding
It was
or
separate
chatter.
It was separate from the agenda builder, though. It was a session record, which, by the way, still exists.
It still exists, but has no information in it.
But it still has the chatter on it.
But it has no information in it.
And you can't navigate to it in any sort of way.
Smart
way. Should just expose the sessions tab again inside of the regular, chatter tab,
and put information in the session tab, in the sessions.
Yeah.
If you go to the session, the actual object, there's no information in it. There's no speakers, there's no title, there's no whatever, there's no set.
It's weird because it's got to be there. That's where it's pulling from. It's got to be.
I don't know.
It's where it's got to be stored.
So, yeah.
The
filters don't work. The search doesn't work. What you want to find, you can't find. You need to basically look at everything and use a search on the browser search. The whole, I flagged a bunch of stuff because I'm actually writing the blog post for next week, blog tease, about sessions you should go to. So I'm in there flagging, flag. Great. Is there a filter for flagged sessions? No.
How do you get back to them?
No, you don't. Just kind of look at them. And by the way, couldn't flag things. I think I couldn't flag things that were full. So I couldn't even flag something that was full. Broken. Sorry, guys. Again, we go positive a lot, but this one is broken. And someone would say, I tweeted the other day, and actually someone tweeted back and said, "Look, even I felt kind of bad." Someone said, "Look, even Salesforce implementation partners don't like the session builder." I was like,
"That's funny." I'm actually, Salesforce on their Facebook page on the Dreamforce.
Facebook.com/Dreamforce?
I think it was Facebook.com/Dreamforce. They put something up it was a picture. Yes, Dreamforce is huge. Don't stress. Use the agenda builder to plan your time. So 57 people liked it. Only 5 people have commented on it. I was the second person to comment on it, and I wrote, nice graphic. Now, if only that agenda builder was as nice. Tough to use and tough to search through. And Dreamforce actually got back to me and said, do you need help with this? Yesterday.
I need someone to come.
I need you to just kind of make it better.
No, just leave it the way it was. Don't make it worse.
I don't need help. I mean, it was nice of them to get back to me. I haven't gotten back to them, which isn't very nice of me, because I was really just griping.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to really answer. Like, do I need help with this? I don't need a walkthrough. I know how it works.
Right.
I just don't think it works well.
Right. And here's the thing. And I don't. I wish we had high horse music, as we have in another podcast we listen to it a lot. But I don't want to get on my high horse here. And not that I'm the greatest UI developer on the planet.
You're not.
But this is just bad UI. It's bad UI. It's bad architecture. It's bad UI. And I'm very, very surprised. I guess I'm so surprised because I'm so used to them not doing this type of thing. I'm so used to them doing something really well done, and this is just not well done. I wish they had just left it objects and put some sort of triggers on them so you would click a button to sign up for them, and it would only let so many people sign up. I mean, just like, don't over architect it. The only thing I can think of, really, and this is where I was going with the touch, the only reason I could think of that they did this is they're testing touch. That they're making all 30,000 people, 45,000 people, just kind of like they did 2 years ago when they opened up the portal with Chatter, like they were testing Chatter. I think they're testing touch. They're trying to put it through its paces.
Well, the name of the keynote is Touch the Social Enterprise.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's testing touch.
It's going to be pixel perfect.
Yeah. So anyway, it is.
Those who got that thought that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't get it. So, all right. So again, I have.
They're going to delight us.
Just for those who think that sometimes we just B&M about things. I have posted to their the Dreamforce app back. I've tweeted it to Dreamforce. I've let
gone
them
on the
know.
Facebook page. We've done this.
I'm letting them know. I'm not just saying this in a crazy podcast. I've let them know, and I think more people should. I've actually seen more people having problems this year, and there's probably more people. But in that Dreamforce app feedback, have you ever been in that group?
The app feedback group?
Yeah, don't go in there.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place.
Don't
Sorry,
go in there, man.
Like Rachel Thornton is in there, like trying to put out fires.
She needs Radiant 6. I'm sure she has it. Anyway, so let's get on to some other interesting news. Let's move off of that rant. Speaking of it, I guess we have not talked about Amazon and their sort of cloud computing stuff recently, but they did an interesting move, which sort of playing the game of data. They introduced something called Amazon Glacier, which was their way of saying we're going to give you very low cost backup, but basically it's not high volume. So the problem with giving away
wait.
Yeah.
When you say high volume, you're talking about like accessibility to it, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the problem with giving away space, say like Dropbox gives away space, Google gives away space, right? Here's your 5 gigs, your 25 gigs, is that it's not that the space is very, very cheap. It's actually the accessing space, the computer power to access it, that's more expensive than the actual drives themselves. The drives are so dirt cheap now that space is like, it just doesn't cost anything. But the electricity to keep the computer on and to have the processing power and the internet connection, all that costs more. So Amazon's saying is, listen, if there's a case, if you like the Iron Mountain,
I was just gonna say Iron Mountain.
If you want to just give us stuff, but you're not going to come ask for it every 5 minutes or access it or sync with it, it's sort of a set it and forget it. Then
here's 1 year's worth of records.
Yeah.
Put them there.
And
like maybe 7 years from now, an auditor will come ask for it.
And I'm going to pay a very, very low per gigabyte price, but it's there. So it's great. It's a great move. I mean, it's just so if people are looking for, yet another Amazon web service, but a low cost thing. I was going to sign up and try it. I have not yet. I have tons of stuff. I back up a lot. And I actually just tried a new backup thing, which I might talk about next week.
I'm always interested in your new backup things.
Yes, you like my new backup things.
Oh, sometimes I go along with them. Sometimes I don't.
Next up was this is because it'll be a tough day for Salesforce. Salesforce is
We got to be a little nicer. Dreamforce is coming up.
no, or we're gonna get in trouble. Salesforce tries to trademark social enterprise in quotes.
Keyword tries.
So this actually got tweeted by someone the other day. I think Judy tweeted this, and then I tweeted back. And we kind of went back and forth on it. But this is the article. It's on the Telegraph.co.uk, and basically it's a bunch of organizations in Europe who are sort of fighting Salesforce for trying to trademark this terminology, social enterprise. Basically saying, well, then no one else can use it, and so it's, again, once you trademark something, no one else can use it without sort of giving you reference. I don't get this. Like,
yeah, I don't get it either.
This is like a land grab. Like, I don't get trademarking social. I get trademarking Salesforce.com. I get trademarking Chatter, right? For someone who we just had to rename our application, one of our applications, because of the trademarks around Chatter. I get it, right? And I didn't fight it. Like, we renamed it in 30 seconds.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure. Conversational podcast.
Yeah.
With Jason and Justin.
So, they have not, and nobody has, trademarked cloud computing, correct?
Can't do it at this point.
Can't do it at this point.
Could have done it at some point.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel as though, man, if we could have trademarked cloud computing 8 years ago, wow, that would have been great.
I don't get the value of this. I mean, I get it from from a company standpoint. When you're trying to build a new segment, a new marketplace, a new way of thinking about things. If you trademark it,
you sort of close it.
Yeah, you put a wall around it saying, no one else is going to want to play in this.
Because cloud computing would not have grown as a term or a movement if Salesforce were the only people that were able to call it cloud computing.
Or Microsoft.
Or
Apple,
whatever.
Or whatever. And I just feel like this is a little bit of a land grab. I don't get it.
It's also just a tad bit wrong. Like, if you think about the word social enterprise and the way Salesforce is thinking about it and trying to trademark it in terms of technology,
right,
versus like being a socially responsible enterprise, which is something completely different,
right?
And
like B corporations.
Yeah, and I think those are the people who are having real issues with it, are saying, look, you're not a social enterprise. Like, you have a foundation, and that's nice, but we're a socially responsible enterprise, right. Social enterprise, and so I think Salesforce is trying to trademark it from a technology perspective. I'm with you. I don't really get it. I feel like if you want to make this a real movement and turn social enterprise into what cloud computing is today, in the year 2020, have social enterprise be what cloud computing is in the year 2012.
Right.
Don't wall it off, because, cloud computing wouldn't be cloud computing even without Amazon jumping in, right, and saying we're cloud computing, and Google jumping in and saying we're cloud computing, and everyone and their mother jumping in and say we got cloud computing. If you want social enterprise to be real, you want Google to come in and be like, we got social enterprise. You want Oracle to come in and be like, here's social enterprise in a box, right? Like, you want that to happen.
So you can make fun of them on the stage. I think that's the point why they're doing it. I just think it's misguided. They're doing it so they can control the use of it. So they can say, just like when people say cloud computing is in a box, and where's your cloud computing? Oh, it's in this server here in this room. No, that's not cloud computing. I think they're trying to do it from a, again, I don't think it's going to be even if they were get it, they're trying to do it from if you want to be a social enterprise, you're going to have to at least go to someone who is setting the bar, and you can't just use the words without meaning it. But so for the devil advocate, I could say it when you talk about cloud computing. People say, oh, I'm cloud computing. I got this server in Rackspace. No, you're not. That's not cloud computing. So from that point, I kind of get it, but I just, a waste of time and effort, especially when you're trying to build something. So anyway, that's an interesting one. So there's a whole bunch of organizations fighting them, including, which is interesting, because Virgin uses the words, and they have the article. The article mentions Virgin Airways, who uses social enterprise in their marketing already,
And is a big
And
part
a
of this
huge
Salesforce
Salesforce
thing
meeting.
where it's like Salesforce plus Virgin equal like they got that whole thing going.
Right. Anyway.
Well, yeah.
All right. Next up was a blog post on Read Write Web called "My Month with the Chromebook: How I Survived Without Windows or Mac."
Okay.
Which is interesting because I love this concept. So the concept of the Chromebook. So for those of you who are not who have not tried one or have seen one or heard about it, we actually mentioned this 2 years ago when it came out, or a year and a half ago. The Chromebook, not the Chromebox. So there's a Chromebook and a Chromebox. It's based on the operating system of Chrome, which is based on the browser Chrome, made by Google. Google has partnered with Samsung to produce a laptop that basically was running a web browser OS, nothing else. Now they have a sort of a small sort of Mac Mini-esque little thing, $300, $400. BYOK.
BYO everything.
Yeah, BYOK, D, and M. Keyboard, mouse, and display.
Okay.
And so...
Anything else I gotta bring with me? Like a tent?
Tower, yeah. But then everything else, it's sort of like Chrome. Chrome, it auto-updates. It runs anything that can run in Chrome. It has Google Drive now, so it has sort of offline stuff.
Seems like it has even just a tiny bit of offline storage ability.
Yeah, well, because that's built into now Chrome and Google Drive. You can actually do offline documents and stuff. So interesting. The article is sort of talking about, again, on Read Write Web. You can go find it. The article is talking about how much he really liked it. I was getting into the article. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. The one thing I had an issue was he talks about saying the greatest thing was, because it auto-updates, like Chrome does, just auto-updates. The greatest thing he was saying was, well, I never have to check for these updates and know what browser version or worry about that or what updates. I don't have to shut down and restart every time there's a new version of something. And I was like, I think those days were about 5 years ago. Nowadays, everything updates automatically, and I like it when it asks me. I actually like applications to ask me if you want to update, because you know what? Stuff happens. Chrome is updated, and is actually our computers that we're looking at. It updated and started blowing these up because it updated overnight. So I kind of like it when they ask me, and now everything just kind of, it all just flows. You start up an application, goes, hey, do you want to upgrade? You go, yes, boom, restarts.
I like the ones that I think Evernote does it the best. Personally, I think they do their upgrades the absolute best. You pop Evernote open, and it's like, hey, there's an upgrade available. Do you want to do it? And then it gives you options of like, remind me later, or skip this version, or quit and restart, or upgrade when I quit. Yeah, that's my favorite option. Yeah. Upgrade when I quit, because I'm in the middle of something right now, but I do want you to upgrade.
Right.
So when I quit, just do it. Yeah. And then the next time I open you'll be upgraded.
And now with the Mac App Store and stuff like that, I don't feel like upgrades are a big deal anymore. I just don't. So anyway, he mentions that.
There was one thing that I actually caught in here that I didn't really think that he thought through very well, which was the whole Google Drive integration, and how he's found that he no longer bothers to place files in folder hierarchies.
Right.
And as huge Google Drive users, which we are,
I don't know.
I think we're pretty big Google Drive users.
I mean, I did have to upgrade us to 25 gigs the other day.
Yeah, we're big. I think in terms of Google Drive users, we're big Google Drive users.
Okay.
Our whole enterprise is on Google Drive.
Hack us when ready.
Yep. Folders are important in Google Drive, particularly when you're more than one person. Now, I guess if you're one person, folders don't mean anything.
Right.
Like, I don't really folder my emails. So I guess if you want to think of it that way, like,
that's true.
Okay, I don't folder my emails.
But let me just point out to you, they are foldered because they're emails and they're in a folder.
Right.
They're not emails and everything else in your planet in that same folder.
Right.
It's kind of emails. They're in a folder called emails.
They're in a folder called emails.
Right.
Right.
So,
and even further, they're in a specific inbox in a folder called email.
Right.
But whatever. But folders in Google Drive are very important for security reasons.
Visibility.
That's what I mean. Like security. Like you can allow.
But even syncing, like you need to.
Yeah, it needs to be in this folder to sync, as opposed to being in my Drive. But I guess on this machine, there's no like My Drive folder on your desktop?
Don't know.
I'm not really sure.
But just to know for Google Drive users,
folders are very important.
Folders are important. They are, and they allow you to do great things. And we have different folders based on visibility, so some people can see these folders, and some people. And some of it's about security, and some of it's actually about what you want to come down. So think of a scenario where there's a whole bunch of documents that you want everybody to share. That's great. But think of a scenario where there's lots of folders in this folder, and you don't want everybody to sync all of it because it's just a lot of noise. And so the ability to say, only bring down these 3 folders for me is important. You can't do that if they're not in folders. I couldn't say only bring down these of the 30,000 documents, only bring down these 20,000. Yeah. So folders are important.
As well as the nested visibility.
Yep.
Within folders. So visibility of a folder within another folder is...
So I would love a Chromebox.
Very important.
Because I'd love to just play with one.
I don't want a Chromebox. I want a Chromebook.
Oh, really? I don't want the book. I think I have the best laptop on the planet.
Well,
I want one I could sit over there and walk into.
I have the best laptop on the planet, but I just don't... This box doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, I just kind of like to have one in the office I could walk in and just sort of log into, and maybe not open up my laptop for 5 minutes, or set it up and someone else could log into it and just use it. Kind of like, especially if you are a Google Apps user, then you could log into your Google Apps account and it brings all your stuff with you. So it syncs your notes, it syncs your bookmarks, it logs you into the Google Apps as you. I think that's very cool. And we're a Google Apps user, so this would be, if we were in an environment where we didn't give people laptops, although we're a consultant, so everybody gets a laptop, to have these around for people who were just doing plain old not laptop-y work, who weren't using Illustrator or Photoshop.
Only browser-based work.
Right, or OmniFocus.
The salesperson, as we always say.
Those salespeople who don't need to do anything.
Those salespeople that just do sales all day.
Just sales. What do you need anything else?
Do you think that you could go a month?
No, couldn't go a day.
I couldn't
go an hour.
No, I'm sure I could go an hour.
I could go an hour surfing.
I could probably go a day.
Read Google Reader
I could probably do my work. Probably not a week, but like a day or two here, there, the other. But like going a full week, it wouldn't work.
I would do it, but I could not be able to do stuff. So when someone said to me, "Oh, I need you to update that integration thing that you're doing," that you're running on your very powerful MacBook, B, you're running through a virtual environment on another operating system, and C, you're running a very, very heavy and hungry application. I think, okay, I can't do that today.
Well, that's why I said, a day.
But that to me is a fail if you have to say, yes, that means for today, I'm not going to do my work. Today, I'm going to use other stuff. I'm not going to use Data Loader. I'm not going to use OmniFocus. I'm not going to use GarageBand. I'm not going to do a podcast. I'm not going to do Photoshop. I'm not going to do, I'm not going to do all this other stuff. But, for today, I'll just use this web browser. So, a long way to go. Again, for that sales guy, or for my daughter, in the same range, you can give them Chromebox. Anyway, and that's it. Let's get to our CloudFocus app picks of the week.
Let's do it.
You did not pick this.
Of course I did.
Oh,
why wouldn't I pick this?
Oh my goodness,
I have it.
I should pick the other one.
So do it. I don't care what you do.
Wow, this is.
What is this?
At least
hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
Go on.
You give me grief.
I do.
All the time.
Go on.
About picking apps I don't use and just last minute thing.
That's true.
I have this app. I've been using it.
That's true.
And you're always you're just always looking around trying to find something.
So you bought an app?
This was a $5 app.
Oh my goodness.
This was $4.99.
Are you okay? Need some water?
Well, here's the thing. Let me give the name and then give the reason and then tell you why this is awesome.
I already own it, so I know it's awesome.
So you already know.
Yeah.
So Roto World Fantasy Football Draft Guide 2012. $4.99. For the iOS, it is universal. It's on the iPhone, which you're pointing to your iPhone. It's on the iPhone. It's on the iPad. I've been using it in both places.
Yes.
$4.99.
Yes.
Totally worth it because I'm watching the partner who shall remain nameless do what I used to do, and he's walking around with the magazines.
Oh,
and
the magazines?
He's got the magazines.
Those are like $7.99, $8.99.
That's what I'm saying. They're expensive. Those are more expensive than this.
Right.
And those are printed, and they are printed in February.
Right.
So
So
like before free agency, before the draft, like you don't even know where anybody is, and they've already got it printed. Peyton Manning's on the Colts.
I feel like we just crossed podcasts, but let's just say something. Let's take a step back. So this is an application to help people who are doing
fantasy
football fantasy, which is where you virtually pick a bunch of players.
People know what fantasy football is. You don't need to explain it.
Okay.
It's pervasive enough. So anyway, this is $4.99. It updates. It's live. So instead of having a magazine, I've got this electronic version of a magazine that updates every time I basically turn it on for like injuries and ratings and statistics and projections and all sorts of stuff, and allows me to analyze who I want to pick and when and in what round. And you can even like put a draft in there, like, oh, this guy's gone, this guy's gone, this guy's gone. You can do the whole thing.
Leagues.
Yeah, you can do the whole thing in there. It's very good. So I've started playing with it, trying to plan out my leagues. My first draft is coming up this weekend.
Really? Is it this weekend?
This weekend.
Is it Saturday at 7 p.m.?
I've got a few this weekend. I think I have 3 this weekend.
You do
it's pretty scary. But
yeah,
I'm
scared that I'm in 2 of them with you, but okay.
But, getting prepared, and I think that this is a really, really good app. RotoWorld's a great website. So their app is really good. It's got great analysis, really good statistical analysis, everything that you would need. And again, it's not a piece of paper. It updates. It's live. A guy gets hurt during a preseason game. It's reflected.
So, yeah, absolutely. I own this one. I also own the
$4.99.
I also own the NFL version.
Yeah, that can't be as good.
It in some ways is better. It has a lot of different... It allows you to set where things get drafted. You can actually follow along in a real draft, and it puts people on the clock. It's in some ways better. But here's the reason I like RotoWorld, because RotoWorld, the website, if you need to go access this data on the website, it's like $30 a season. So, like, why not buy the $5 app on your iPad that you can play on the train with, then spend $30 on I'm sure you can get other stuff on the website. So it's a great deal. I couldn't agree more. This is a good pick. Finally, after 100, you get like a good pick.
Yeah, why not?
And something I already own. All right, so mine is I was going to make a hardware pick, but I'm going to wait 1 week to make it because I'm not done testing it. But I will talk about it next week.
Okay.
This week I'm going to talk about something. I just stumbled across this, like as one of these. Oh
man, I gotta. You know what? I just got.
You got another pick?
I got a tweet. Someone sent me a suggested app, but it was something that you already picked.
Oh, what?
So I'm just gonna let them know. Ronald Reed.
Oh yeah.
Tweeted at me with a suggestion. The if this then that. So it's already been picked.
Yeah.
Jason picked it 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Go
maybe
search for it on the web.
You'll find it if you go.
Because our search engine works.
But yeah. So just letting him know.
All right. So I just saw this as like one of these kind of weird apps. You're going around. It's like what's hot today or what new app. I'm like, let's try this. So it is it's the Red Cross Hurricane app. We're actually in hurricane season now. It's just starting. I'm actually flying in a week and a half to a place that gets hit by a lot of hurricanes. So part of me was like, I kind of want to look at this. And what's nice is it's not just as a simple. It does a couple things I think are pretty cool. One is it has a bunch of tests. So you can go in and like in a nice like iPhone way. It's for the iOS. It's I think it's universal. You can take these little quizzes that like what you should do in a hurricane, and then it gives you badges as you do one, right? So if you get this quiz or that quiz, okay, that's kind of fun. Then you can set up alerts, and you can set up push notifications for alerts for severity of storms hitting your area. Kind of cool.
Okay,
I kind of like that. That's neat. And then it has the thing at the end. It has another thing. It has this toolbox where you can turn on the flashlight.
Oh, look at that.
Where you can turn on a strobe light.
You never know when you might
need
a strobe light. Where you can turn on
the alarm. Oh, it's not going to come out now because I'm on mute. Let's see what it sounds like.
Oh, man.
That's awful. And then it actually has this thing called I'm Safe where you can hit it and it'll instantly send a text or a message to, text or tweet or whatever saying that you're safe to your loved ones.
You have to set that up.
It'll take from your email account or whatever. Kind of neat. It'll tell you where local shelters are. So it'll tell you in your area. It'll try to find open shelters.
Can you donate through it?
And, of course, you can donate through it. So you can do all those things. I thought it was kind of a...
When you donate through it, does it take from your Apple account?
Oh,
does Apple take a cut of that?
No.
I hope not.
Pops you to a new website. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. I usually pick sort of things that are... This one just popped up. I played with it for like 10 minutes. I took the quizzes. I saw all the things we could do. I kind of like the idea of it being an alert system to tell you the severity of storms coming your way, even tropical storms. Anyway, Red Cross Hurricane app for the iOS. Free, and I haven't picked an iOS app in a while.
Gotta love free.
I could have picked the NFL fantasy whatever app, but I didn't. So that's it. That wraps up the blog post. The podcast this week. Maybe we should just rename it. So go to blog.arkusync.com. You can comment there. The new Discuss is out, so there's you can actually see like the whole community of who has discussed on all things on Arkus.
Has anyone posted on my blog yet?
I don't think so, but maybe you could be the first. Go to twitter.com.
I don't post on my own blogs. I wrote it.
Well, we gotta say this is cool.
No one did.
No. Go to Arkus Inc. Twitter.com/Arkus Inc. Twitter.com/Jason M. Atwood if you want to follow me. Twitter.com/Just Edelstein if you want to follow Justin here. We're on Facebook. Facebook.com/Arkus Inc. where we post all of our podcasts and blog posts if you want to follow them there. Also on Google+. We're also in the Dreamforce portal, so there's a CloudFocus weekly Dreamforce portal where we will post things not only up to Dreamforce, but throughout the year. So we will keep that going, and as soon as polls and other things, we're going to actually get more interactive in that, so you want to go follow that now. And of course, if you want to subscribe to the podcast, probably the best place to do that is in your podcast app of du jour, or or on iTunes, and then it comes right down to you as we do it, or at the minute we do it. So that's it for this week. From Jake and Justin here in the Times Square studio.
Without interruption this week.
Without any interruption. Did anybody catch that last week? That people were just busting in?
I'm sure they did.
Here's your key, sir.
I mean, people do listen, or at least they download. I don't know if they listen.
Just download, don't listen. We'll see you next week. Enjoy those cloudy days.